We left off 870, bottom paragraph. Roy Lucho Ochi Lodas. It's something important to know. Kischuyos Hamamin. The merit of the person who believes. Afilu Yagia Yemagia Latachlas Harachoka. Betiko Nafsho Le'Lakim Yisborach. Even if he achieves something which is remotely possible to achieve. Remotely possible, you achieve it. Even a person achieves a level of perfection that his accomplishment is the equivalent of the characteristics of the Nevi'im, Umenagayim, Hamushabochim, and their praiseworthy behavior. And their initiatives and the service of Hashem and the pure love of Him. Einom kischuyos mishamora b'nei odom al derech hatov. It's phenomenal. Very important. You hear this? A person has achieved a level of emunah. His behavior is exemplary. His avos Hashem is exemplary. He says it doesn't come, it's not the equivalent of a schus of a person who goes and influences another person to go on a proper path. Kiruv. Here? Einom kischuyos mishamora b'nei odom al derech hatova. All that is still not comparable to a person who directs a person to take the proper path, to be a better Jew. And he directs the evil to serve Hashem, brings them back. Hear this? His merit of multiples. Why? He says, because of the merits of those of that you brought back. Because now all the people you brought back, to who do you tribute their levels of proper behavior and avodas Hashem? The person who brought them back. Therefore, the one who brings back the Rishoim or directs other people to the good path is multiples regarding its value of the person who even achieved the level of a Navi. The purity of the Ava and the belief and everything else. Tremendous, tremendous chidush. No, but it's a chidush. It's a chidush because it says Moshe is shokol keneged Yisrael. It says certain people were the equivalent of 30. It says there were 36 casualties in Ai. Some persons said it wasn't. It was one person who was the equivalent of 36. So you can have one person as equivalent of many people. So if you're equivalent, so how can you say a Navi? You know what a Navi is? A Navi says, even if you achieve the purity of Avos Hashem, the belief of a Navi, so it's still not comparable to the person who influences another person positively to bring him back to serve God. Although in his Ava and his belief, he's not on the level, he's far from what a Navi is. Do you know what a Navi is? A Navi, what his value is? I mean, he could be the equivalent of many. So good. We're talking about not that he brought something. Okay. But he's saying the reason is, I'm going to tell you how I understand it. It's bavruschuyosum cholayom cholazmanim. You know, it says in the Tochacha that a smaller number will pursue 100, and 100 will pursue 10,000. The Reish says, Chazal Rashi, ein adomer mu'otim osa mitzvah l'mruv osa mitzvah. Because when you have 100, it's not multiples of the smaller number. It's a different dimension. It's a different dimension. So it could be, he says, because the one person who brings other people back, he says, their accomplishments are due to him. So how many people? Before we had one person serving Hashem. So in terms of the person's innate value, it's special. But it's still not Merubah Mosa Mitzvah. There's a concept known as Merubah Mosa Mitzvah. So by this person brought back others, and now you have Merubah Mosa Mitzvah, That aspect, even the Navi doesn't have, unless he did that also. Otherwise, it's difficult to understand. Sure, you're the equivalent of many, but in terms of Merubah Mosa Mitzvah, it's not Merubah Mosa Mitzvah. Merubah Mosa Mitzvah is the concept of Rovav Majas Melech, right? It's a greater glory to Hashem when you have multitudes doing things, greater numbers. That's why it's cited in Halacha that if you have a shul that has lesser people or more people, and everything's equal, you should go to the shul where you have more people rather than lesser people. Because it's Rovav Majas Melech. It brings greater glory to Hashem to daven the larger shul than the small shul. Unless you have reason to daven the smaller, because that has other benefits to you. You're able to focus better in the smaller, whatever it is. Right?
Mathematically, the big one shul in the community, because it's hard to start a second shul if the first one is big. Mathematically, you could say like this: the person may have a capacity of 100. He's functioning at 98. Maybe he goes and influences the person who only has a capacity of 60. But he brings him from 0 to 35. He's added another 35, whereas
Right.
himself come ahead. But you get credit. I see why this is good. It's like exponential. That means one person, you influence one person, that person influences 10 people, and it works. So it's exponential as opposed to being yourself. You're just yourself. You get credit for all of those people.
The Chovot Chaim writes. Chovot Chaim was very a great proponent of Kiruv. The Chovot Chaim. He says the Gedolim who think that it's only important to focus on their own inner circles, he says they're making a big mistake. He may even cite this Chovos HaLevavos, the Chovot Chaim, that Hashem values those who are concerned about others because of so on and so forth.